I went to the doctor, and everything was good. Like, everything was good. My blood sugar, cholesterol, great visit, right? I hop on the scale. I was 311 pounds. 311 pounds. I didn't realize I was over 300 pounds. I know how to dress well. I know how to put these nice jackets on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm fine. My wife loves me. I'm like, I ain't even worried about it. Yeah. But the doctor was like, hey, Chet, listen, you're 311 pounds. I'm so glad that you don't have anything coming back on your blood work, but you're going to have to get this under control. You're a ticking time bomb. You know what I mean? You're just waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for diabetes. You're waiting for high cholesterol. I really want you to start working out and maybe start eating better. Let's take care of yourself. I walked out of the hospital. What do you think I was thinking?
You were like, he's crazy. Like, listen, man, it sounds great. You told me all the good news first.
There we go. 100%. I was like, yo, let's go get a double cheeseburger, man. Yeah. I was like, my blood works good. I'm good to go. Literally talking about hearing God's voice. I closed the door, and it was like immediately, God arrested me. And I felt God so strong in my car. And it was like literally like this. This is the impression I felt. So you're waiting on a bad diagnosis to take care of yourself. That's what you're waiting on.
Jeez.
And I'm like, he's like, I bless you with the wife. I bless you with kids. I bless you with purpose. And you're going to mess around and kill yourself because you want to be comfortable. You want comfort food.
Hey, welcome to God's Glory and Men's Real Stories. I'm excited you're here, and if you're listening for the first time or you're back for another great episode, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to start by letting you know that your story and what you may be going through, they matter here, and you're not alone. So try not to worry about what chapter you're in, because if you trust God with your story, He's going to breathe life back into it. So sit back with a community that cares about you and hopes that you feel God's love as well as see God's glory in Men's Real Stories. So before we get started, go ahead and do me a quick favor. You know what I'm going to ask you to do? I need you to click that thumbs up real quick. You'll be happy you did. You'll be glad you did after you listen to this episode. Then if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, it's free of charge. It won't cost you nothing. You won't see it on your credit card. You can go ahead and click it now. So now that's out of the way, thank you all for your support. Know that this podcast is nothing without you and the men who God has put it on their hearts to say yes to joining me. Like today's special guest, who many of us have had the pleasure of hearing him share stories and sermons that originated out of his personal life, his marriage and fatherhood journey. And one thing I've learned is that when a man can publicly praise God for what he's seen in his own story, he's also privately running to God to praise him when the weapons begin to form against him. So I'm excited to welcome our brother, Chet Pete, to the episode, or Chet as they call him. What's going on, bro?
Hey, I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah, no, it's truly an honor to be able to get you here. I know we've been looking at our schedules and trying to make this happen for so long, but it's a blessing to have you sit here with me today and just begin to share a lot of what God's doing in your life, how He's worked in your life, not only in the past, but like how He's continuing to work in your life, how He continues to open doors. So
yeah, I love what you're doing, creating a space for men to be able to connect, to talk, modeling that I think is huge. And so like, I mean, it was cool to finally figure out a space that we can make it happen. Come out to the studio. You've done a phenomenal job with this space. This is amazing, man.
I appreciate that. It's an excellence thing, and I tell people, I think whenever you're called by God to do something, there's a level of excellence where you want to show up not only like Mary, but also like Martha. You want to make sure that, like, I'm going to sit at His feet, but I'm also going to make sure that it looks. 100%. The setting is exactly a level of excellence.
Well, I love excellence, but let me give you a definition that I came up with for excellence.
Oh, come on.
Because a lot of times people look at excellence in a level of comparison, meaning they look at what somebody else is doing, how somebody else did it, and that's how they determine excellence. I believe excellence is doing the best you could with the resources you had at the time.
Yes. As our pastor says, all you have is all you need. In this season.
Start.
Yes.
Start.
For sure.
Do the best you could with the resources you had at the time. So that means that today's excellence might not be tomorrow's excellence.
For sure.
I've grown. I've gotten more resource. I've had more experience.
Yes.
And so what you've done with the space, amazing. And you know what I mean? Like I'm honored to be here. Thanks for modeling what it looks like to just bring God an offering.
No,
you know what I mean? And
awesome.
bring your best to it. And bring your best to it.
Yeah. No, I look, I appreciate that. And as we're filming season 2 right now, it's funny. A lot of people will notice that even the cameras have gotten an upgrade. So you're right. There's a level of excellence in every season where you step it up, where you say, 100%. God, I want to come and I want to do it in this area. And I agree with you. There is a level of sometimes comparison to say, what are they doing?
100%.
Like, and I've fallen victim to that.
Have you gone back and looked at some of your first episodes and been like, look at the first episode?
Yeah, no, I don't even like to send those to people. I don't look at them myself. So I like my first couple episodes, I couldn't listen to them because I was such a huge critic of myself.
Yeah, I think it's a positive way of being able to see how far you've come.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sure.
And what's crazy is when you started, it was excellent.
Yeah.
Why was it excellent? Because you brought your best to it.
For sure.
With the resources you had at the time.
For sure.
But now you got all of the switchers and all of this stuff. And now it's like, hey, it's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new day.
You're right. It has so much has changed. But you're right. Even I was humbled and I was happy with what I was doing because I felt like if God called me to do it, then he had something in it.
Come on.
And even if I just had a little bit, we're going to show up with this little bit. I mean, it looked nothing like this,
100%.
But it was like, you know what? We're going to still show up. I'm not going to hold it in. So,
what we're talking about, I mean, we're already getting into, I think a topic that I think affects a lot of men. When you think about excellence in terms of any facet of our life. So as a husband, you know what I mean? If I compare myself, let's say with Elon Musk, let's see what he does, how he showers his wife with the budget that he has, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yo, let's just take our private jet to this island and whatever, right?
Right.
If I compare myself to that, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not an excellent husband because I can't do that for my wife. No. With the resources that I have, you know what I mean? Am I doing the best that I can with my wife? So if the best thing you can do today is spend time together and go people watch, not spend anything, but you guys laugh, you connect. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. But the more resource that you have, you could do more.
Yeah.
Not in comparison.
For sure.
But bringing your best to it. Bring your best to it.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. And that takes a lot of pressure off people, too.
100%.
Because they realize that my excellence doesn't have to look like his excellence.
100%. 100%.
That's so good. So before we even jump all the way, because we jumped all the way in there, just so people are like, who is this guy? Let you introduce yourself to those who are listening now, who are like, okay, like, man, this guy done already started dropping gems, and I don't know who this guy is for sure.
Well, my name's Chet. I'm a pastor at Elevation Church. I lead our University City campus. I get to serve on our leadership team, and I've been on staff at our church. It'll be 9 years at the end of this year. At the end of this year, it'll be 9 years. And so before ministry, I was in retail management. So I was running sneaker stores. I won't throw the company name out there unless they're gonna give you a sponsorship.
Right.
They don't deserve that. But I worked selling sneakers. I was managing stores for about 8 years before coming into ministry. And so a lot of management, leadership experience, focus on building teams and culture. And to be able to do that, to build the church, is the greatest honor of my life. I'm a husband. Me and my wife, we've been married 16 years. 16 years we've been married. We have identical twin boys. They're 13 years old.
You do.
I have 2 teenagers in my house. And it's just amazing to see what God's doing. I'm truly blessed. When I think about my life, I'm just overwhelmed. I can get emotional if I really start just thinking about the ways that God has, blessed our family. And there's somebody that prays more than me. There's somebody that reads their Bible more than me.
Right. Most
of the opportunities that I get, I approach with gratitude because I know it could be a whole lot different. So I'm just grateful, man.
For sure. And I'm sure, like, even you saying that, like, I could get emotional thinking about it. That I recognize that as well comes from a place of like remembering where I came from.
100%. Yeah.
And if I didn't have to remember that, it would be hard to like be like, oh well, yeah, of course, God, like of course you're gonna shower me with all of this, but it wasn't anything that I did or you did that like
it's God's grace and mercy.
Yeah.
We didn't earn it. We don't deserve
it.
For
sure.
But God loves us that much.
Yeah.
You know, I love I love thinking about the fact that in my relationship with God, he doesn't need me.
Come on now.
He doesn't. He could use anyone at any time, but he chose to. He loves me that much.
Yeah.
That's again, takes off pressure. Now I'd show up and have fun. Like I show up and have fun because I'm like, God, you chose me. You asked me to do this.
Yeah.
It's on you if it goes left. I'm gonna do the best I can. You know what I mean? And show up and do it. So amazing. Yeah.
Have you ever have you ever felt like in moments God pushes you into a situation and you had an expectation of how it was gonna look, like, oh, I'm gonna finesse it with this and I'm gonna kind of like sprinkle a little bit on those, and then God's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do none of that. Like we just go like left with it.
What I'm doing now wasn't my plan. I mean, my whole life right now wasn't something that I ever wrote down or put in a vision board. Like if you'd have asked me, 10, 11 years ago, what would you be doing in 5 years? What would you be doing in 10 years? I would have never told you I was going to be a pastor. I would have never told you this would be, I'm at Elevation Church as a leader preaching. Like it wasn't something that I had in my cards. Like it wasn't something I was looking at. So my whole life right now is that turn moment where you can see that God had other plans. And so for me, it's just been, how can I live my life more open-handed? Just more open to the possibilities of what God wants to do. I'll tell the story of me kind of accepting that this is what God called me to do. So I was running stores for this company. Again, they can reach out and we can get the sponsorship at some point.
We'll work it out.
But I was running stores for this company. I worked for them for 8 years. I won every award you could think of, like every award. I was Rookie Store Manager of the Year, top sales gain, best inventory. Like I was killing it. Like I was killing it. After 8 years of being extremely successful, after 8 years, I end up being let go. I ended up being let go. I was in church. I was saved, in church serving, all of those things. But I was prideful. So I all of these awards that I was winning, I was kind of beating myself in the chest, like, look, I'm doing this, I'm the man, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm promotion after promotion, all of those things, bonus after bonus. Like, you couldn't tell me I wasn't the man. You couldn't tell me. I thought it was me.
Right.
I thought it was me. And God's a jealous God. He's a jealous God. He wants all of his glory.
For sure.
And I know now, he had greater plans for me. But I wasn't praying about, God, what would you have for my life? My plans were working.
For sure.
Until they weren't.
Right.
My plans were working until they weren't. And so after 8 years, I ended up getting let go. Ultimately, we had a couple of situations where we got robbed at the store, and there was expectations of what my boss thought I should have done, and I kind of drew my line in the sand. I'm not doing that, not doing that. And ultimately, my boss won. My boss won.
Right. Crazy how that works sometimes.
End up getting let go.
Yeah.
And I remember going home, sitting on my couch, questioning, God, why do you have me here in Charlotte? You didn't bring me here for me to get let go. But for the first time, the rug kind of swept from up underneath me, where I went from depending on myself, my ability, my strength, to desperately saying, God, I need you. What do you want to do? And I opened myself up to just being like, okay. What are we going to do? Practically, I had about 6 weeks that I could have before I needed income because I got a wife and 2 kids. Right. So I'm like, I put God on the clock. I was like, hey, it's like, God, you got a few weeks here to be able to make something happen. Yeah. And I ended up, getting a job fairly quickly. Here's the wild thing: making more money, and actually having a little bit more flexibility after this. But it was still in retail management. And I love what I was doing. It was great. But slowly, because I'm open now, I'm praying more. I'm like, hey, God, I'm good doing this, but if you want me to do something else, I'll do it. Let me know. Like it's like, hey, I don't want to get so ahead in my plan that I don't give him space for him to tell me what his purposes are. And so I'm praying, and I'm open. And slowly, I start being way more interested in what God's doing at the church than what I'm doing at my job. I'm just serving.
Yeah.
I'm saying yes to everything that they're asking me to do. I eventually become our volunteer youth director. Like, I'm volunteering at the church, leading the youth ministry, not thinking about a career, not thinking about, calling, like none of that. I'm just serving. I'm just like, God, whatever it is you want me to do. It was in that process that, the church really started asking me, like, why aren't you applying? Like, I didn't even understand vocational ministry. I was like, apply for what? What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Seriously, I didn't know. And they were like, hey, apply to come on staff at a church. And at the time, I still wasn't sure. Like, I still wasn't like, hey, I don't know. Well, I'm open. Like, God, what is it that you want me to do?
Yeah.
And when you give God space, he will speak.
Yes.
Like, a lot of times people was like, God, I don't hear anything. I don't think you're giving him space.
Yeah.
And so I was up for another promotion, which means we would have to move. I remember immediately feeling somewhat sick at the notion that we would move. Now, mind you, I'd been working for a promotion like this. It's like, this is what you want. You want to go and progress. You want to make more money. You want to have more influence. But I felt a restlessness like never before. And I think that was because I was in tune to the Spirit of God in that season. I wanted to be in alignment with whatever it is he was speaking. And so I end up telling my wife, I said, I don't know. I don't feel good about this move. I don't feel good about it. So I just told my boss, I said, hey, I don't know, but I can't take this opportunity.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I'm staying in Charlotte. I was like, hey, if you decide to go somewhere else, I love your job.
Right.
Because then I can stay in Charlotte. And literally, God started to reveal the reason why I brought you to Charlotte was because I've called you to ministry. This is the place where I need you and your family planted. And so for the last, 8.5 years, going on 9 years, I've been able to operate truly in what I feel like God's created me to do. To love people, pastor people, to build teams, to be able to communicate the gospel message. But if you'd asked me 10, 11 years ago, I'd be like, absolutely not. It took the rug being swept from up underneath me for me to be open to just God saying whatever it is he wanted to say. He was speaking my whole life.
Yeah.
I just wasn't listening. I didn't give him space to listen.
Yeah. No, and I think it's crazy how I used to say that same thing. Like, I can't hear from God. but there came a time where I realized, oh no, I've just never turned the dial in to listen to him. Like, his voice has always been there.
Yes.
And when you start hearing him, then there's a time, personally, I felt this, where I was like, oh wow, I wish he hadn't said that. I wish now that I've heard him say that, now I have to act on that, or I'm going to act out of obedience.
It's easy to look back and see the breakthrough on the other side of obedience.
For sure.
But we anticipate the breaking before the step of obedience. So in this story, like, I took a significant pay cut. Like,
yeah.
Like the trajectory that I was on in business and the amount of money that I could make, like my focus was, was that.
Right.
So yeah, there was some breaking of me saying, not my will, God.
Right.
Let your will be done.
Right.
But in that process of me laying down my dream, my ambition to say, God, what is it that you're having? I experienced the breakthrough on the other side.
For sure.
Of peace that money can't buy, joy that money can't buy, the unity in my family, the purpose, to wake up every day and know that what I'm doing, it matters.
Yeah.
It's significant. So no matter where you find yourself today or the step that God's trying to lead you to take, says, I love it. You're like, God, you telling me to do this? This is what you want me to do?
Yeah.
You experience the breaking.
Yeah.
Embrace the breaking. Be obedient so that you can experience the breakthrough on the other side.
No, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. And it's crazy because for people who are listening and are like, okay, wait a minute. Everything he's describing goes against what culture tells me. like everything. Like, he is literally like, what podcast is this where a man says that it's not in how much you've obtained, how much you make, how much you've gotten. You're telling me that in listening to God, it may go against culture, and I think I don't know if enough people are saying that, but yes,
it does.
Yes, it does.
But I've experienced exceedingly abundantly above anything I could ask or imagine. Like, I've experienced Ephesians 3:20. That's the verse I just quoted.
Yeah.
Where what I thought I needed to do to obtain this, God had a better way of getting me there.
Yeah.
And I believe that I just believe that you experience power, you experience breakthrough on the other side of that obedience.
For sure.
Only you know what God's speaking to you. And I do sometimes it feels like people are like, well, what does it mean for God to speak to you? What does that even look like? Is it this audible voice? Is it this? And for me, I experience God speaking in so many different ways. Like sometimes it is, I'm reading my Bible and something just jumps out and speaks directly to what I'm thinking, what I'm processing. Sometimes it's in a conversation where there's someone that's speaking and I'm like, there is no way you would have known that. There's no way you would have known that. God sent you. That was a word from God. There's sometimes that there's just this strong, almost like an arresting that you feel in moments with God, that you can't shake it, and you feel his presence like never before, that confirms something. And so God speaks in a lot of different ways. When you read your Bible, you can see God speaking through a lot of different things. God speaks through a donkey in scriptures.
Oh, that is right.
He speaks through donkeys.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just like, if God can speak through a donkey, you know what I mean? He can speak through your friend.
For sure.
He can speak to your wife. He can speak to your child. And so just being open and creating space. So if you're in a space where you're like, hey, the Bible says he'll be a light unto your path, a lamp unto your feet. He's illuminating next steps. He's just maybe not giving you all of the details you want.
Yeah.
Right?
No, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, if he gave you all of that, you wouldn't need faith.
Facts.
You wouldn't need faith.
Facts. But you know, it's funny how so many of us are programmed to need all the details to step forward. It's almost like this, and I recognize it for a lot of people. That is something that they have survived doing by needing all the details. It's a survival mechanism of like, okay, tell me what it's going to look like.
Right.
Like okay, well, tell me how long I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah.
And in my life, God has done none of that. Like he's not told me all the details. But it's funny, it makes me think about a quote that I heard you say not too long ago that I thought was so powerful, because as the man of the house, as the leader of my house, as the guy who is in charge, I recognize that being in charge and in control are two different things. And when you said that, I'm like, okay, he's right.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Like I can be in charge,
yes,
and still have no control
100%.
over what's going on.
100%.
But everybody's looking at me like,
yes,
are we good?
Yes.
Are we safe? Are we good?
I think that we all would have more peace and more joy if we recognize where God has given us control, charge, where he's given us the ability to make decisions, and what's outside of our hands, what's outside of our control. Yeah. I think we spend way too much time thinking about things that we can't control, we can't change, we couldn't move rather than spending time with, well, what can I do? What has God given me the ability to do, the freedom to do? And in that space, we see this partnership with God.
Yeah.
I'll say it this way. The opposite of faith is certainty.
Okay. Yeah.
The opposite of faith is certainty.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Yep.
And control.
Yep.
Everything. We want to know. Give me where am I going to be? What is it going to look like? What is it going to feel like? I mean, I'm the type of person when I'm planning what I'm going to wear, I look at the weather. I look at the weather, right? I'm like, hey, I'm a planner. Like, I like knowing exactly what it is. But in our lives, how do we live our lives in a way that we have faith? Meaning that I'm not certain of exactly how this is going to work out, but I got faith. I got hope. I believe that I'm going to be all right. We're going to be good.
Yeah.
And if it's if it's harmful, if it hurts me, I got to have faith to even know that even God is working that. Like he's developing me. He's shaping me.
Yeah.
He's pulling something out of me that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's doing surgery sometimes.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And
Facts.
I don't know exactly what it is, but I trust him. I trust him. So if you're looking for certainty, I apologize. Guys, it's impossible to please God without faith.
Yeah.
It's impossible to please. So we need spaces in our life where we can say, I really don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Do you
where trust God's in.
So do you feel like, though, in a lot of people's lives, they have experienced God at one time where they had hit that place where it was like, oh, this is out of control. This is an out of control storm. And God stepped into it. And like many of us, I always call it the Israelite, what is it? The Israelite moment, where we have that moment of like, you did something last week, but I've forgotten it. So here I am again, lacking faith to believe you can do that again.
100%. That's the cycle, right?
Yeah.
It's the cycle. I mean, we see it over and over and over again in scripture where the children of Israel, they get into trouble. God delivers them.
Yeah.
They forget. They get into trouble again.
Yeah.
God delivers. It's the, you know what I mean? We absolutely see this in our lives.
Yeah.
And I don't think there will ever be a time that, you know, we come to this space that we've arrived and we don't struggle, right? Like, if we come to that space, then we wouldn't need God.
Yeah.
We figured it all out.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So God wants to take us from glory to glory. He wants us to get stronger. He wants us to get better. Every area of our life.
Yeah.
I want my marriage to grow. I want to grow as a father. I want to grow as a leader, as a pastor. Well, in order to grow, there has to be a demand placed on you. There has to be something that you're encountering, something that you're experiencing that maybe you've never experienced before that drives you to desperately needing God again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you want to stay the same, if you want to stay complacent, then don't grow. Like, don't grow.
That.
You know what I mean? Just hey, create yourself a cozy life.
Yeah.
And try your best to not have to deal with people.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And it can stay the same. You know what I mean? If that's the life you want, But I feel like most people, they want to see progress.
For sure.
They want to see growth. They want to see something. And the only way that happens is sometimes there has to be some stretching. There has to be some tension. There has to be some times that you're like, hey, I don't know how to do this. God, I need you.
Yeah, no, and that's so good. And it makes me even think that you're right. There are no influencers out here that are saying like, yeah, we're just all comfortable staying right here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to sit still and where you're at. Like, let's not move any further. Like if we can like basically it's the groove, the crudes where he was like running them back into the cave every time. Like, yeah, we're just going to stay in this cave. And I think a lot of these moments where we have to grow, nobody ever packages this. Like, understand that growth is going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable.
100%.
And because we have always offered comfort in a lot of settings, to sit in growth and realize, oh no, you're asking me to wake up earlier.
Well, you cannot have growth and comfort at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
You got to choose.
Yes.
You're going to have to choose.
So for people who are like, well, wait a minute, no, why can't I have both? Like, why can't I be comfortably growing?
Well,
is that even a thing?
Well, I think you can. I'll say it this way: you may not be comfortable, but you can be content.
Yeah.
You know, Paul says, "I've learned how to be content in all situations." He says, "I've learned how to be fed well. I've learned how to be hungry. I've learned how to be content." So comfort and contentment are two different things.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people kind of will get those confused. I'll use an example. We were talking earlier about I've been on a weight loss journey.
Yeah.
About at the end of 2022, I went to the doctor, and everything was good. Like everything was good. My blood sugar, cholesterol, great visit. Right. I hop on the scale. I was 311 pounds. 311 pounds. I didn't realize I was over 300 pounds. I know how to dress well. I know how to put these nice jackets on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine. My wife loves me. I'm like, I ain't even worried about it.
Yeah.
But the doctor was like, hey, Chet, listen, you're 311 pounds. I'm so glad that you don't have anything coming back on your blood work, but you're going to have to get this under control. You're a ticking time bomb. You know what I mean? You're just waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for diabetes. You're waiting for high cholesterol. I really want you to start working out and maybe start eating better. Let's take care of yourself. I walked out of the hospital. What do you think I was thinking?
You were like, he's crazy. Like, listen, man, it sounds great. You told me all the good news first.
There we go. 100%. I was like, yo, let's go get a double cheeseburger, man. I was like, my blood works good. I'm good to go. Literally talking about hearing God's voice. I closed the door, and it was like immediately, God arrested me. And I felt God so strong in my car. And it was like literally like this. This is the impression I felt. So you're waiting on a bad diagnosis to take care of yourself. That's what you're waiting on. And I'm like, he's like, I bless you with the wife. I bless you with kids. I bless you with purpose. And you're going to mess around and kill yourself because you want to be comfortable. You want comfort food. You want this. Like, he's like, this is God dealing with me. I told God in that car, I was mad at him. I was like, I'm doing all this for you. Let me have my burger and leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. And I said this. I said, God, if you send me somebody to work out with. Send me somebody to work out with, and I'll do it. I'll do it. Me and my wife, we led a married couples group. We started a married couples group in that season. No joke. A real good friend now. His name's David. But we weren't close then, but he walks into the married couples group. Now, David, I always joke with him. I could see his six-pack through a hoodie. Like, this is the type of... So, I was kind of like, oh, God, you funny.
Yeah.
Like, you funny. Like, you... Obviously, this is the... You know what I mean? This is the guy.
Right.
And so I'm like, hey, David, I've been thinking about getting in the gym, thinking about working out. And he was like, Chet, I'd love to spend time with you. Let's do it. So we started at the end of 2022. So I've been going almost a year and a half. I'm down 40 pounds now, and we work out, 4 or 5 days a week, and working on my diet, all of that. It hadn't been just straight up, like, just up and to the right with losing. It's been up, down, but I'm learning, I'm figuring some things out. But one of the things that he said, going back to growth, he told me, he said, Chet, when we lift weights, he was like, you're going to have to fail. That's the only way I know that we're getting stronger is if I push you to the space where you fail. So, like, I'm doing a set of, you say, on a bench press, and I knock out 10. I'm like, I'm feeling good.
Right.
He's like, all right, add some 5s. I get it. I'm like, it's a little bit harder if I did it. He was like, oh, okay, take those 5 out. Let's add some 10s.
Right.
He's waiting till the moment that I could only get 5, and I fail.
Right.
He's like, this is where we going to stay for a while.
Right.
Because you're not getting stronger if you're not failing. It's when you push through the comfort that you actually get to experience the growth. Contentment comes when I can zoom out of that and I can see how that pain, that struggle, it's actually paying dividends. Because now I got more energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got more energy.
Yeah.
My clothes look better. And I realized that, you know what? I'm adding years to my life.
Right.
I'm adding years to my life. I'm getting to the point now where I'm thinking, I'm making a decision right now. I'm making decisions right now for Chet when he's 65. When he's 65, is he going to be proud of the decisions I made today? Is he going to say, you know what, question. Chet, thank you so much for eating better. Thank you so much for working out. Is 60-year-old Chet going to be looking at me today? I'm 37. Is he going to be like, hey, Chet, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you took the time to take care of yourself. Life is better for me today because of the decisions you made then.
Come on.
So, would you rather be comfortable?
Yeah.
Would you rather be comfortable?
Yeah.
Or would you rather grow?
That checks.
Or would you rather grow? Or would you rather grow? It's important. That's an important decision, I think, we have to make as men. We have to make as men to be thinking about legacy, to be thinking about, we're talking about working out and health, but the financial decisions you make today.
Yeah.
Is 65, 70-year-old version of you, are they going to be saying thank you?
Yeah.
Thank you for the decisions you made today with your money.
Right.
Like, I know the shoes look good. I know I know the kids want to go on the trip. I know. But are you doing something today the 65, 70-year-old you are going to be thankful about?
Yeah.
Those types of decisions is what make you content. In seasons that maybe you don't feel comfortable with the decisions that you're making.
Yeah, no, for sure. Man, that's good. And, as I sit here and I think about all of those aspects of our lives and the decisions we have to make to get out of those comfortable places, to be able to say one day, man, I'm glad I did that.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't comfortable then, but man, 100%. I'm glad I did that when I did it so that I can look back and say, it was that change.
100%. I wake up most days frustrated. It's 5:30. I gotta you know what I mean? Like, it's 5, 100%. 100%.
So now I have to ask then, since we've hit on those things, what are you doing in areas of your mental health that allow you to continue to pour into so many people that look at you as a shepherd of where they're going, whether it be the growth that they want in their financial area, the growth they want in their marriage, knowing that you're seeking all those things as well.
For sure. Well, we spend a lot of time, I'll give you a principle, then I'll give you a practical example.
Okay.
We spend a lot of time talking about time management, right? Like, your calendar and how you manage, priorities.
Yeah.
A lot of times I've really never heard anybody speak on energy management. Like, so you got time management, that's your schedule. You have 24 hours in the day. You got to be here. You got to be here. You got to go to work. You got to pick up. You got time management.
Right.
But energy management is when you start to really think about the things. What are the things that fuel you, and what are the things that de-energize you? That you know what I mean. You feel exhausted afterwards.
Yeah.
And so they drain you. So you have to take time to be able to become more aware of yourself. So that's when you can start to be very specific around how you manage energy.
Yeah.
So I am extremely extroverted. Like, this will not drain me. This will energize me.
Right. Okay.
Like having a conversation, being with a group of people, like I'm energized by it. Like I'm like, let's go. Some people are introverted, and a conversation like this they could have, but afterwards they need to go take a nap. Like they're just different. They're just different.
Sure. Yeah.
And do you know that about yourself? Have you paid attention to that about yourself? Do you know what your soul loves? Do you know what, even as simple as like your favorite colors? I don't know why it's your favorite color. Do you incorporate that even in your life, in the rooms that you sit in? Red's my favorite color. And my team, they laugh at me because I always keep a red spiral notebook. I have a red spiral notebook. I have like 20, 30 that I filled like with just thoughts, notes. I just like the red notebook.
Right.
When that one's filled up, give me another red notebook.
Right.
It's my favorite color. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's something I like to see. Even that, like, I'm just intentional around thinking about what do I like and incorporating those things in my life. Now, we cannot work out everything that frustrates us, that drains us. We can't remove all of those things for our lives.
For sure.
But we can be intentional around, am I making sure I'm adding or intentional about adding the things that are refreshing, that are refueling.
Yeah.
So I love basketball. Like I really, really love basketball. My boys play basketball, so it's a great season of overlap where I enjoy being at basketball practice. I enjoy being at their games. I enjoy taking them to the gym. That helps me. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy. I love when NBA season comes back. Like I was all into the Olympics this year with all of the games. Like I just love the game. So I incorporate basketball, conversations around basketball into my life. Outside of that, spiritually and I think emotionally, I'm constantly listening to sermons. I love communication. I love the art of preaching. So I'm constantly listening to messages. I'm listening to my pastor on Sunday, but then I'm listening to a lot of different voices throughout the week, kind of dissecting the art of communication. I listen to a lot of comedians. Because I like
you're gonna have to give me some names now. Look, bro, I was like, okay, like who else is he listening to? Like what other voices?
100%. I listen to comedians because cadence and storytelling,
for sure,
and all of those things I'm learning from. That's fun for me.
For sure,
that's fun for me. So I would just say, like even right now, if you were to sit and you were to write down like 5 things that you're like, after I do this, I feel refreshed. Like I love it. I enjoy it. What is that for you?
Yeah.
What are those things? Like my wife, she loves puzzles. I hate that.
Look at
like
that.
I hate that.
Yeah.
She asks me all the time, come do this puzzle with me. I'll do like 2-3 puzzles. I'll be like, babe, I can't do this. Like I can't do this. I hate it.
Right.
But she loves it. She loves it. So she needs time to be able to like do those things that feeds her soul, that she enjoys.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make sense to everybody else.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but incorporating those things in your life.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge. It's huge.
No, I like to consider those things the things that set your heart on fire.
Yeah.
That allow you to wake up and want to do those in spite of like, okay, well, I have to do this. This is what God has called me to, or this is what I've called myself to, wherever you are in your life. But those things that kind of like say, hey, look, you know what? I want to go out and get on my motorcycle today. I need to go and get some air.
100%.
I need to go out and do a puzzle piece, or I need to just go around people and continue to build communities with people and have conversations. Mine, honestly, is doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think I would like this. I truly believe that one time, and I've told many people this, I hated the way my voice sounded. So yeah, we can talk, but let's not record it. I don't want to hear myself back. But as I begin to do this and realize that God was doing something in this space, and that others were like getting something from it, because this podcast has already like surpassed my expectation. Like, I thought that I might have like 5 listeners. Awesome. Like, at least I'm not talking to myself.
For sure.
So when it began to grow, it was like, amazing. Oh, well, yeah, God, this all along, this was your podcast. Yeah. It exceeded what I expected out of it, but you also showed me that there was something you put on the inside of me that sets my heart on fire, being able to sit across from a man and like hear like what he's going through, because it makes 100%. Me realize like, man, me too. And your wife likes puzzles too. Yeah. That's crazy. like so it just lets me know, it affirms me in certain areas that, yeah, not going through that by myself. Not seeing that, like me with a 100%. Teenager who's 16 now too. It's like, okay, what is that like in your life? Like, you're running with doubles. I'm running with one, and I'm already like, all right, man, look, I can't afford your budget of clothes. I can afford this budget. How are you meeting me? Like
now, what happens when they start wearing your shoes? That's where I'm at. Now, my boys are wearing my sneakers, man.
So I'm creeping up on that area. And I put a lock on my closet door of where I keep my sneakers. Like, wait a minute. Like, but no, yeah, that I am there where I'm looking at my son's fashion, and I'm like, okay. That's original. That's some of that is. Some of that you're dipping back in the crates of the 90s when we were wearing like super baggy jeans. But like, just learning him and not making it always a thing of like, that's stupid. Back in my days, we used to do this. That's when real. 100%. Like no, meeting him where he's at. Like, okay, all right, is that cool? I'm not gonna wear it, but like, it looks good.
It looks good on you.
Yeah.
Let me give you one other thought on the idea of taking care of your mental health. There's a term that I've heard. I don't know who coined this, but it's called refrigerator rights. Have you heard this before?
No.
Refrigerator rights. So if I come to your house, I'm not going into your refrigerator for the first time, right?
Yes.
Like it would be weird, right?
Yeah.
If I walked into your house, never been to your house before, I walk in and I just go open the refrigerator and start getting some snacks.
Right.
Like, yo, you want something? You want something here? And I'm in your refrigerator.
Right, my refrigerator.
But when someone has built a relationship and they've been over the house a lot, eventually you just say, hey, go to the refrigerator yourself.
Yeah.
And then eventually that comes in, they can walk in there. It's not weird.
Right.
Because of the access that they've been given. Who has refrigerator rights to your soul? Who are the people in your life that have access to be able to go in, out? They can see the moldy cheese. They can see some expired fruit. They could see some things that need to be thrown out. And you've given them that level of access.
Right.
I believe everybody needs 1 or 2 people that they feel like they can truly be vulnerable at the highest level with.
Facts.
That you can tell them something crazy, and they're not going to look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
That you can be open and free with. And I believe in appropriate levels of vulnerability. I don't think everybody needs everything.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody's earned the right to be able to have full access to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I think somebody should.
Yeah.
Somebody should. There should be somebody that you can call and say, like, I'm mad, I'm frustrated, I'm this. And they could give you the space. It's safe. We believe in the same thing. We're running in the same direction.
Right.
They're for me and my family, for me and my kids, for me and my calling.
Yeah.
You need that. And I think a lot of men struggle with that because it's scary.
For sure.
It's scary to let people in.
For sure.
Like, that's not easy. And let somebody in and someone let you down.
Yeah. Because I think that's the first thought of like, oh, they're going to turn this back on me. They're going to tell somebody else about this.
100%.
I'm going to look crazy to the world if I expose this or I share this with them.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'll just keep it to myself,
yeah,
and I'll go about it. And you know what? I can't overlook. You recently preached a sermon where you talked about who are you allowing in your boat and who is grabbing an oar.
Yeah.
And you broke down of like what oar even meant. Of like sometimes we're overwhelmed because we are rowing something on our own. We are trying to go through a struggle and we want to keep everybody on the outside,
100%.
and we just want to do this in the darkness
100%.
of like making it through it. We're also dealing with the anxiety of like, you know what, I'm sitting here and I'm anxious because I don't know what's coming tomorrow
100%.
because I'm trying to do all this on my own.
Beautiful.
And so I as I sit there and I listen to that, I was like, yes. That is why when you invite somebody into your boat, when you create, as I like to call it, a band of brothers who you can do life with, who know everything about you, when you start to get quiet, they know to say, all right, wait a minute now. Oh, you done got way too quiet over there. Hey, look, bro, we're following back up on what we talked about last time. How are you doing with that?
Yes.
What is that looking like in your life?
Yes.
And like you said, it's like allowing them to say they can step inside your refrigerator whenever. Like I just come in the house, grab a drink, and it's because 100%. I have earned that access in your life 100%. To say, yes, this may not ever go outside of this circle, but we know that we are stronger in this circle together.
Yep.
And I think, as you mentioned it has become a huge part of my life because I recognize that in that circle, in our vulnerability, it is our superpower. It is a superpower a lot of men will look at it and be like, how do you do that?
How do you do that?
Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you just share? How do you open up like that? And it's saying, like, I found a group of people that I can trust that will pour into my soul, as you said it, that allow me to see me when I can't see me, when when I'm overlooking blind spots and just missing certain things that it just went right past me.
Yeah, I think culture forces us to perform. You know, and so we just get into a cycle of performing, just like getting it done, and we lose ourselves in that. And so you need people that can say, hey, you don't have to perform, like, and if that can start to, really start to permeate throughout your whole life, that I'm not performing, I'm not posturing, I'm just being.
Yeah.
I've heard this say, like, a lot of times we have to-do list, but what about a to-be list?
Yeah.
Like, just like, who am I being?
Yeah.
Who's the person I'm becoming? And so I'm not trying to just, put on a show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even here right now, like, I'm not performing. Like, I'm just having a conversation. It's like that. But sometimes we come into spaces and we get into this space that, like, they got to see me like this. I got to just like this. I got to show them this. And that's awful. I'm exhausted saying that, saying that out loud.
Yeah.
And so you start with safe places that you can actually, like, strip those layers back.
Yeah.
You want people you can celebrate with, and you want people that you can cry with.
For sure.
You need that. You need that. You need that. If you don't have that, maybe that's your prayer today. It's like, God, like, who are the people that you've placed in my life?
Yeah.
That maybe I haven't given access the way that I should.
That's good.
Trust Him. I mean, I trust God with my relationships.
Yeah.
Because people are human. I'm going to let you down.
For sure.
I'm going to let you down.
That's good.
I'm going to let you down.
That's so true.
I'm going to do my best. I'm trying. I'm going to let you down. I'm not going to be there when you wanted me to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to forget something that I should have remembered.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But like I'm trusting that God has brought the right people into my life.
Right.
That they're going to call, they're going to text when you need them to.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with a real good friend of mine a couple weeks ago. I text him wanting something from him. I text him saying, like, hey, can you do this for me? Right? One of my real good friends. And he was letting me know that he couldn't do it. But in the text message, I sensed immediately he wasn't right. Like, there was something in the text message that immediately spoke to me like, yo, he's not right. And I was like, yo, let's go to, I didn't even just say like, you good. I was just like, yo, let's go to lunch today. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, let's go to lunch today.
That way you didn't allow him to turn around and be like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. As we like to say.
Let's go to lunch today. And it was wild how ordained, you know what I mean, that lunch was. I reached out to him because I needed something, but God ordained that conversation because He needed to get something to him. Like, He needed him to be encouraged. He needed him to feel His love. And it's funny how God can use it all to do what He wants to do. We got to be open to it. We got to be open to it. And He is someone that, like, I feel like we have that type of relationship where it's just real. And He was able to open up, like, boom, this is it. Like, it's this, it's this, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I feel you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he had a moment to just get it out. He felt lighter, just get it out. I didn't have to say nothing.
Facts.
I didn't have to say nothing. He just had to get it out. if you're like, hey, you gotta have that. You just gotta have that.
Yeah.
So that would be probably the second thing I would say that would be so practical to making sure we're taking care of our, our mental health and keeping ourselves healthy.
Yes, man, that is so good, because even in him just bam letting it all out, he now realizes that I don't have to necessarily carry this all alone.
100%.
I have shared it with the brother now who will either hold me accountable or check back in with me.
100%.
Making sure that like I'm not just walking through this alone. Hey man, that was some great information. Sorry, I can't really do much for you, man. I don't know what to do, but like I'll be praying for you. Like some people need to know that like I'll be praying for you, but I'm also gonna like check in on you. I'm gonna see how I can maybe like work some things for you so that you don't have to walk alone.
100%.
So that you feel seen in that. So man, that I love that. I think that's what so many people that I regularly hear are looking for, but just don't know how to find. Yeah. And as you said, I think it's in trusting God will bring those people around you, but being available when he does, and you just not like,
you gotta take a step.
Yeah.
You gotta take a step. You gotta be intentional. Some people, the person, the people, you don't want to be a bother. That's what I hear a lot of times. Yeah. People are like, I don't want to bother them. They got their own thing going on.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is like, you don't know, they probably are thinking about the same thing. I mean, somebody just needs to take the step. Somebody needs to send the text. Somebody needs to start the conversation.
So true.
You just got to push past that resistance.
Yeah.
Our pastor always says this, as far as we think we're going in the right direction when the wind is blowing behind us. But a lot of times the indication that you're going in the right direction is that the wind is blowing against you, because the enemy does not want you to have meaningful relationships.
Facts.
So he's going to do everything he can to get you to resist sending the text, picking up the phone, making the call. He wants to do anything he can to keep you from moving forward. So the wind's blowing against you.
Yeah.
That might be an indication you need to do it. Like you need to do it.
Yeah.
The obstacle is an indication you're close.
Yeah.
Like this is probably what you need.
Facts.
Versus like, this is easy. Nah, you probably going in the wrong direction if it's too easy all the time. Like that. So
facts, man, that's so good. That's so true. I like you said, there's resistance in every encounter that sometimes God is pushing us through, but know that there's going to be resistance to stop us from it. That's good. I'm taking mental notes over here. Like, man, lock that in. That's good. So in all of that, in like the compass of everything that you do in your life and leading people and having these conversations with people that recharge you, do you ever feel like there's moments where people are looking for something that you feel like only God can provide them, but they're looking for you to be the savior in their situation to provide, like, and what does that normally look like for you? Like, how do you navigate those spaces?
Well, I can't remember when, I've came to the realization, I can't remember when, but it's 100% that it's very clear in recognizing that my relationship with God is no different than your relationship with God. Mm-hmm. My title does not have me on some level of hierarchy when it comes to being able to connect with God. So I always see it as it's a conduit. I'm a conduit. Like I'm the one that's helping you, you know what I mean, point to the direction that you need to go. Mm-hmm. But I'm not the source. I am a resource. I'm not the source.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is so freeing.
Yes.
That's so freeing to be able to come to that place where you just recognize that, like, hey, only God can do this.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Probably the best example is like with married couples. Like if I'm having a conversation with a married couple, they're at each other's throat and they're like, I say this every time. I say, hey, just so you guys know, I don't want your marriage to work more than you do. I'm just trying to let them know that like I'm not more invested in this than you are.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I'm like, if you guys want this to work, I mean, I got resources, got counseling, we got all the different things we can help with.
Right.
But it's going to be you making a decision that you want to. I am not about to try to drag you into this. You have to make a decision and say, this is what I want for my life.
Right.
Here's what I say audibly. A lot of times when I encounter any situation, whether somebody's grieving a loved one, I always say this verbally. I say, God, that's your son. that's your daughter. You love them way more than I do, right?
Yeah.
And you have more power than I do. That's your son. That's your daughter.
Yeah.
In any situation, it takes the weight and the pressure off of me of thinking that I have to say the perfect thing, do the right. Like, no. This is yours.
Yeah.
This is yours, God.
Yeah.
This is your church.
Yeah.
These are your people. I'll do what you want me to do, but like I recognize my part to play.
Right. And it goes back to like what you said earlier, like you chose me.
You chose me.
So don't look crazy in your choice of me. Like if I say the wrong thing, don't forget you chose me. So it takes a lot of the pressure off you, but you're right though. I mean it definitely says, God, I'm submitting them to you. I'm submitting their problems to you. Let's not forget who the actual one that's going to do the work is. He's just using me as a vessel.
100%.
I think that's so good.
100%.
So with all of that said, man, because I think there's been so much that has been dropped here today of like just what God is doing in your life. Do you feel like God is like, before we get out of here, do you feel like God has put anything in your heart recently, something that you have just felt heavy about, something that you have felt like, man, what am I supposed to do with this, or where is this, like, how is this supposed to be said, or like, is anybody gonna listen, or am I gonna sound crazy?
This is a principle that I would say has been, I think just this pivotal in the last season of my life. Pastor said this, and I'll tell you like what I've kind of been doing with it. But Pastor said, God's provision is connected to God's priorities. God's provision is connected to God's priorities.
Yeah.
And so anytime that you feel like you're running out of anything, time, energy, resource, whatever, I'm running out, I'm always coming back to it and I'm saying, well, hold on. God's a provider. The question is have I prioritized my life accordingly? So when I prioritize my life the way that God wants me to prioritize my life, there'll always be enough. There'll always be enough. If it's running out, probably something's out of order.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll connect this to the way that I've began to really focus on this. Most of the areas in my life, I am a pillar for people. People need me for something. Most conversations that I'm in, they're asking me for something, or and I love it. I absolutely love it. So as a husband, like I want to protect and serve my wife. I want to, you know what I mean? Like as a father, I want to provide for my kids. I want to develop them. As a pastor, I want to help people. I want to be encouraging. Like these are things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're all pillars. A husband, a father, a pastor.
Yeah.
I'm a leader. Like I'm carrying, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. God showed me that I wasn't prioritizing being a son first.
Sheesh.
Before I am anything else, I'm God's son.
Yeah.
That's something that feels rudimentary to anybody that maybe has grown up in church or have a faith. A son, you're a child of God.
Right.
But here's the thing that I've realized. In all of my life, even as a kid, high school, my dad was teaching me how to provide, how to lead. He was teaching me how to go get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm grateful. I am grateful for the ambition, the work ethic. Like I'm grateful. My father didn't teach me how to be a son though. You know what a son is? A son is needy.
Yeah.
A son is needy.
Yes.
A son is weak. A son desperately needs his father.
Sheesh.
As I've grown up and I've accomplished things, done things, I forgot how to be a son. I forgot how to, like, when I scrape my knee, I can run and be like, yo, Dad, I scraped my knee, my knee's bleeding. Like, I forgot how to say, like, I'm confused. I don't know how to do this. Just figure it out, right?
Yeah.
At 37 years old, I'm over here like, how can I learn how to be a son again? And what's beautiful is I'm learning through the eyes of my boys. And I'm like, I want them to grow up to be strong men. I want them to be leaders. I want them to be, you know what I mean? I want them to lead. I want them I want them to have that ambition. But I don't want them to forget what it means to be a son. So, daily. This is my daily prayer. Put my feet on the ground. I don't look at my wife. Because if I look at her first, I'm husband first.
Ooh, I
can't look at my kids. Because if I look at my kids, I'm dad's first.
Yeah.
I can't look at my phone. Because if I look at my phone, I'm pastor now.
Yeah.
Somebody called me, somebody texted me, I got an email about something. I can't look at anything first. I got to put my feet on the ground and I got to say, God, I'm your son and I desperately need you today. Jeez. I don't have the answers. I don't have all of the way. I don't have all of the strength. I am posturing myself as a son first. If I'm a son first, if I prioritize being a son first, I feel like everything else will fall into place. This has been the most, I'd say, pivotal revelation for me in the last 2 years of recognizing that I desperately need my father. I can't do this alone. Like, why am I taking all of this on my shoulders when I got a father that wants to help me? And I'm watching and I'm interacting with my kids and I'm watching their belief in me. I'm watching the things that they come and ask me for. And I'm like, why don't I interact with God that way?
Right.
I'm learning how to be a son through watching my boys interact with me. And I'm trying to figure out how to make sure that as I develop them to be strong men, that they don't forget what it means to be needy. That they don't forget what it means to come to their father humbly, desperately knowing that there's something that you have that I desperately need and I can't make it without you. Learning how to be a son.
Bro, oh my goodness. Okay, wow. You okay. Whew. And you know what? Everything you just described, it goes back to a moment that most people are running away from, of like, when I was a son, I was needy. When I was a son, I was dependent. When I was a son, I was weak. You want me to go back to a weaker moment of my life.
Yes.
To experience God at my weakness.
100%.
And yes.
100%. What miracles are we missing out on because we've grown up?
Yeah. And we've become so like, I got it now. I got it, God. Like, you look.
Oh gosh, I've never said this way, but maturing in some aspects may be the greatest obstacle to miracles, because I think I'm so mature that I don't need God to provide a miracle. Like I've grown up so much that I can do it myself.
Yeah.
It's the picture that like, you know, when your kids start growing up and they start doing things on their own. Dad, I don't need you for that. I can do that myself.
Right.
I can brush my teeth myself.
Yeah.
I can ride my bike myself. I can get dressed myself. And then we're over here as adults and we're still saying this. I could do this myself. I can raise my kids myself.
Yeah.
I can pay these bills myself.
Yeah.
I can lead. I can do it myself. And God's like, all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. All right, keep trying.
Sure.
At some point, you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna bust your head and things like that, and you're gonna have so much anxiety, so much pressure, and then you're gonna be like, I need my father. Why wait until you're in danger? Why wait until you're in desperation to call your father? Why wait? Why not live in relationship?
Yeah.
Why not? You know what I mean? Why not live in relationship daily, rather waiting until you're in a desperate situation to call on him? This is my greatest message, I would say, right now to men. Like 100%. Like if I'm doing a men's event, if I'm doing something, like I am like learning to be a son again.
Yeah.
Like this would 100% would be the thing that I think men need to understand, because we have been groomed to be leaders. We've been groomed to be strong. We have been groomed to carry weight. We've been groomed to handle stuff, get it done.
Yeah.
Like failure's not an option.
Bags.
Like it's not an option. It's got to be done. I'm gonna do it, right? Like
you hear all that.
I'm here for all of that. Like all that. But that has to be put into its place when I recognize I am flesh and bones, and there's a God, a King of Kings, Lord of Lords that loves me, that has my back. I'm foolish to not go and ask my dad for. It's like the same conversation around LeBron and Bronny. It's like, why wouldn't Bronny have access to the Lakers facility? Why wouldn't Bronny have access? His father worked his butt to get it. Why wouldn't? And we're sitting here, we treat God that way.
Wow.
We treat God that way. It's like 100%. Yes, I should have access to everything. Yes, that is the shift that I've been going on, and it came from a moment of desperation. I preached about my mom's accident. My mom was in a crazy accident. She's in a coma. My mother's in a coma. And I remember struggling with my emotions, not knowing where to put them, not knowing how to interact with them, like feeling grief, anger, and frustration, but not really knowing how to process that with God. And I'm a pastor, I'm a leader, and I'm telling people, bring it to God, da, 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 da. And I'm like, but me, I felt like I just had to figure it out. Yeah. 'Cause I'm the pillar. Like, people lean on me. I don't, you just.
Right.
And in that process, I was like, I felt God leading me. It's like, hey, I'm your father. Like, bring it to me. Cry on my shoulder. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like my boys are 13. They're almost as tall as me. Come sit on my lap, boys. Yeah. Come here, give me a hug. Like, I don't care what happened today. I don't care you stumbled. I don't care you made a mistake. Like, we'll get through that. Like that. I forgot. Like, I forgot to do it. Yeah. So I've just been in a journey of trying to figure out again. And it starts daily to me. I again, try not to look at my wife first. Try not to look at my kids first. Don't look at my phone. Like, God, I'm your son. I desperately need you.
Jeez. Oh my goodness, man. Listen, me. Listen. That was heavy. There's like some things that happen on this podcast where I'm just like, man, I can't unhear that now. Like I'm stuck with that in my head of like, man, how am I showing up as a son? How am I waking up as a son? How, like even the what you just said about like, I don't even look at my wife first because immediately I become husband. Yes. I don't even look at and sometimes the dog overrides everything. He just jumps right in front of me like, now I'm a dog walker. But like, no, get out of here. Like I'm a son before anything else. Yeah. And that puts us in a posture of like Dad, you and I'm not gonna go there with this conversation. I was like, man, like how do some people who have never been a son know what it's like to be a son? Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if we got the time for that today, but knowing that there is a father who I used to watch the Cosby Show and be like, I want that dad. Yeah. Like I want that dad.
Well, we can touch it for. I mean, think about it. If you grew up without a father, you grew up without a father in the home. Or you had a father, so even saying father is triggering to you, because it's like when you say dad or father, all you have the picture is maybe the dysfunction, the abuse. You know, there's a lot of different situations that people experience. But then you can pause and you can be real about all of that. And some of these things you need counseling, you need to get help, you need to do whatever you need to do. So I'm not marginalizing this at all, based on whatever your experiences are. But what I will say is that you have breath in your lungs right now. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening to this, you're taking this in. Yeah. I bet you can look back over your life and you can see somebody was caring for you. Yeah. Somehow that worked out. Yeah. Somebody showed up and you didn't know. I know for a fact that was your heavenly Father. Yeah. Like, there's things we do for our kids, they have no idea. They have no idea. They didn't know you didn't sleep. They didn't know maybe you didn't eat so they could. They didn't know the levels that you went to get them what they need. They have no idea. Yeah. So what I'm saying is maybe you didn't have an earthly father that was there or even a father figure that showed up. But I know that if you took some time and said, and it was like, how did that work out? Mm-hmm. How did that happen? Mm-hmm. I'm praying by faith you would see the hand of God, your heavenly Father, that was moving in the background, making sure that you were safe, making sure that you had what you needed, like blocking things so you wouldn't, or things you've gone through. Somehow you were consoled, like somehow you were comforted.
For sure.
I believe that the only way. It was the supernatural nature of our Heavenly Father that showed up. So even though you may not have called it that I was a son of God at the time,
facts.
He was working in the background as your Heavenly Father. Yeah. And I pray you come to that revelation. That you can experience the hand of God, that you would have looked back and you'd see it, you'd notice it, that it was only Him that made a way, even though your earthly father was either absent or it was a damaging relationship,
For sure.
traumatizing situation you walked through. Either way, I can see the hand of God was there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even going, I just to even add to that, because I love how you said that, even adding to that, allowing yourself to see his love and experience his grace despite the idea that you want to transpose how you've always seen a father onto him, and look at him the way you've always looked at your father, but realizing that he's not that father, taking that identity off of him to see him for who he truly is. It's a blessing, man. Bro, this has been good. I mean, they're always good, but like sometimes I just sit back and I'm like, man, I'm going to sit back and listen to this again before anybody else gets to listen to it. I have the benefit of that. I have that opportunity to be able to listen and be like, man, that was good. Yeah. But bro, before we get out of here today, man, I'm gonna give you an opportunity just to share how people can tap in with you, how they can find you, how they can come and visit. Like, hey, they've heard that you're like, hey, look, I'm a pillar. Well, I need a pillar. Like, how can I come and add some more requests to his inbox? Yeah. How can they tap in with you?
Yeah, on Instagram at Chet.Pete. So just CHET.PETE. That's on Instagram. And then I'm at Elevation Church University City, the University City campus. So absolutely can look our church up at Elevation UC or Elevation Church right here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah. And as they're known for, that is definitely the bunch over there. What are you guys known for nowadays? I know I've always heard all these crazy things, like that's the wild group over there.
They call them the rowdy crowd.
The rowdy crowd. Okay. Yeah, no, I love that. Well, thank you again, man, for just joining me. This is truly a blessing. It was worth the wait. It was worth just the time that God has just been cooking up things in our life just to be able to sit down and have this conversation. I truly believe that it's going to impact somebody's life today. They're going to listen to this and be like, man, I got to run that back myself, because there was so much he spoke to me in so many different aspects of this. And so I appreciate you sharing that I appreciate you just picking up my audience in certain areas that they're feeling like they're lacking in certain areas, and they needed to hear that word. So thank you again. Thanks you guys. Yes, no, definitely. Thank you guys for joining us today. It's been a blessing. I hope that you got what you needed from here today. And if there's anything, I love to leave my audience with just a quote from my brother, Chad, who has passed away, but used to be a fellow podcaster with me. He ran the Rabbit Hole Show, which was another great space for people just to be able to listen and sit in a space where they felt safe to like hear different things and how God is working in other people's lives. But as he always said, we all have a story, we all have a struggle, but know that you're not alone. Know that God is there with you in that. Know that God has never left you. He's never going to leave you. He's never going to forsake you. So I pray that you feel that today. I pray that you guys truly just walk forward in that. So you guys be blessed. Love you guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode. All right? Be blessed.
And that wraps up another episode of God's Glory and Men's Real Stories. I'm Justin Moore, and we want to give a huge thank you to all of you for tuning in and being part of our community. Your support means the world to us, and we hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as we did. If what you heard resonated with you, please consider subscribing or leaving a review on today's video. It really helps us reach more listeners like you. Don't forget to connect with us on social media at God's Glory and Men's Real Stories for updates, new episode clips, and to share your thoughts on today's episode. We love hearing from you. If this conversation happened to shed a light on past experiences of yours that may have been happy moments or maybe hurtful moments, feel free to keep the conversation going in the comments below, so as a community we can listen, pray with you, or point you to helpful resources. Join us next time for another great episode, and until then, let's give God the glory for all he's doing in our stories.